Hey guys, I'm probably living through one of the worst weekends of my life right now. So bear with me if I'm a little bit depleted and a little bit sad or a little bit not feeling that great. Hasn't been a great weekend at all. So from a cricket perspective, from a football perspective, as you guys know what happened, you guys can laugh probably in the live comments about it. But yeah, so we're going to push through this. I think our teachers also probably feeling a little bit, depleted a little bit as well. Um, so yeah, well, let's do this. We're still sticking with you guys. We're still here to give you guys a podcast. So please support us by subscribing to the magazine. It's 100% free. You can go and do that in the description. And please support us by subscribing to this channel, please. Click that notification bell also for all future videos as well. So, the topic of today's video is obviously about whether the whole idea of spin being dominant in this particular World Cup is a myth, or whether it is actually going to be a weapon in this particular tournament. I looked at the stats so far. There are quite a lot of spinners in the top wicket takers category in this particular tournament so far. But I think that's because of the different venues, and certain venues are going to be different to others. Um, I think first and foremost, we have to look at maybe look at India's match against Pakistan and see how spin maybe worked there. What stood out to me particularly is the swing bowling from Shaheen Afridi. I mean, some excellent swing bowling from him with left arm seam over there. So it's one of those type of things. Let's talk about it, Aditya. Your thought process, your understanding of spin in this particular tournament. I feel personally that as the tournament goes on, it's going to become more and more handy.
How spin determines the outcome of a particular game depends entirely on the conditions. And so far, the narrative around spin in the UAE has been that because so much cricket has been played on those tracks, there's going to be wear and tear. It's hot anyway, so it's going to be spinner friendly. And there's no doubt that spinners will play a role. Yesterday's South Africa saw Keshav and Shamsi bowl incredibly well to make a game out of what was really a paltry score. Today, except for that one over, Varun Chakravarti bowled quite well to the Pakistani batters. Jadeja was decent, but the thing is, they're not going to get rank turners in the UAE like you might in India or Sri Lanka or Bangladesh. In Sri Lanka, when South Africa went, there was proper turn. There was purchase from the wicket that Keshav and Shamsi could get. But that's not necessarily the case here. So how you play spin here and how you execute spin in the UAE is very different. Where you're probably aiming to play a holding role, to be more consistent in line and length. That I would imagine is a priority for spinners. And from a batting point of view, I do feel that South Africa's history is coming in the way of how they're playing spin. And it's certainly something that has garnered a lot of attention in press conferences and interviews with players, and which is exactly why I asked David Miller the question that are the Proteas really overthinking this? Because sure, spin would play a role, but I'm sure they don't need to expect ranked turners here. So yeah, I do think that they're probably giving too much importance to spin in this tournament.
I mean, you asked David Miller that question and he completely missed it. Because I was looking at it, and my worry is about South Africa is that they're going to put overemphasis on spin and focus on that, and then not and then forget about that they still need to play the seam bowlers, because every single team in this tournament has quality seam bowlers. So they need to find a way how to attack no matter what the conditions are, no matter what they're being faced with. Now, South Africa's in a very difficult spot. Luckily, from their part, they'll be playing West Indies next, who also went under a complete destruction. Actually, it was much worse than what South Africa went through. So at least there is some hope there. I hope that they do look at that footage and watch what the West Indies did wrong there and try to exploit that once again and repeat it. But then again, with the West Indies, they are so unpredictable that no matter how hard you prepare for them, you're not necessarily sure what's going to come your way. So we've got Werner that's joined us as well. Thank God. He's going to take some pressure off me to do a lot of the talking here. Werner, we want to talk about the spin. I'm sure you pulled up the stats to see which spinners, if how many spinners have been taking wickets in this tournament. Do you agree with a statement that maybe spin is being overhyped or overly people are focusing on so much in this particular tournament? But then we see wickets like Shaheen Afridi today. We saw Chris Rabada. We saw the likes of Josh Hazelwood taking wickets as seam bowlers, obviously from a South African perspective. What's your thoughts on it?
Yeah, no, the seamers are going to be equally as important. I do think the spinners have been a bit brought up too much. I know it's the UAE, so people expect spin to play a big part, but as I've said previously, in the last two IPLs that's been held in the UAE, it has mainly been the seamers that have done the damage. The spinners might hold an end and tie up some runs, but in the end, it's the seamers that take the wickets. And we still have the problem of bowling at them. And if spinners and two seamers, and one of the seamers are traveling that day, we won't have many options left. So yeah, no, but yeah, it's great to see the seamers dominating. I enjoyed Shah Afridi's spell today. Well, I always do. I always enjoy watching him bowl. It's crazy to think that he's only 21, so he's basically still starting. He still has a good 15 years left in him if he keeps fit, and that is a crazy idea. I don't know where he could end up if he continues at this rate. But yeah, well done to Pakistan today. I think that was about as clinical as it comes. I enjoyed their openers. I always do. They demolished South Africa as well when they were playing here. We didn't seem to have an answer against them because they don't have many technical faults and they don't take too much chances. It's just clinical batting. They pick the gaps. They run twos very hard throughout. They're very, very fit, which is important. I caught myself thinking today, if Quinton was still batting in the 16th over, which rarely happens, but let's say it does, I can't imagine him still coming back for those twos at the same rate that they were. He's not in that same type of fitness level that those two are. And that's an important aspect on these bigger grounds, to be able to run those twos. So yeah, no, but to come back to the point, yeah, I think the spinners will have a role to play, definitely, especially on the bigger grounds. You still have that wicket taking opportunities, but the pitches aren't spinning a lot. It's slow, so it will hold on a bit. But I think someone like Dwayne Pretorius might have a bigger impact, just because of his cutters into the wicket is going to be a lot harder to get away and can get you that wicket, especially in some place like Sharjah where we'll play two of our games. We've seen hitting that back of a length has been very difficult to get to aside of today's game. Today's game, it seemed like the pitch played a bit better between Sri Lanka and Bangladesh. But other than that, it's been a difficult length to get away. And the spinners have been decent, but it's mostly been the mystery spinners who batsmen have struggled against to get away. The regular offs or leggies have been okay, but any time they've slightly overpitched, it's been 8 or 6 on the small ground. So yeah, I think maybe it has been talked up a bit too much, the spinners, and the seamers will definitely have a very big role to play in this tournament.
I'm really glad you brought up the fitness facet of things, because in as you mentioned with Babar and Rizwan, they were really running hard, and they're really running hard given that they fielded for 20 overs and then they batted through the innings as well. So it's basically like the 36th over of the game and they're really running hard for twos and the depositing balls for sixes into the stands, which is also one of the reasons before the tournament started, I asked Temba how South Africa were preparing for the heat, because it's not merely a case of players go in and just start playing in hot conditions. It doesn't work like that. At the elite level in elite sport, it details matter. Things get more intricate. And so often I've heard of New Zealand teams, for example, when they come into humid conditions, they add oil to their diet, healthy oil to their diet. They train a certain way. They add more salt to their water, more sugar to their water. These things matter. And it
Yeah.
was part of the reason that I felt motivated to ask Temba that question, because it's not just a case of going out there and experiencing the heat. That doesn't do much. And the South
Yeah,
Africans are not used to this sort of heat
yeah, and the thing is, we're playing 4 of our 5 games in the
in the day.
middle of the day. It's
Yeah.
going to be very hard. It's going to be very tiring, and so our guys are going to have to push through it. And that's the thing. Because you need your top order to play long innings relatively, right? This is only 20 overs, but constantly running and hitting big shots, it's tiring in itself, and doing it in the heat is not easy. And we can't have guys tiring after 5 overs and then hitting out because they don't have the energy to continue. So it's very important, and so that's why I was so impressed by Rizwan and Babar being able to still run those two so hard so late into the game.
And Virat Kohli batted till the 18th over as well.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
Yes. So, Tsepo, from your perspective, I mean, like you speaking about that, of course, Aditya, and obviously Pakistan winning by 10 wickets. Is there a downfall? Maybe I know not a downfall, but is there some sort of like negative to winning by 10 wickets in a T20 match? I don't think so at all. I think that obviously winning by that emphatically gives you so much confidence. Do you see anything? Because I saw some things floating around on social media where people were saying like, yeah, but 10 wickets, you won by 10 wickets, but the other batsmen didn't get to bat and all of that stuff. And so for me, it doesn't really bother me at all. I think that just gives you massive confidence.
Yeah, no, I agree 100%. Tons of confidence. And also, as we're talking about the heat, sometimes you don't really want to be out there. And it's good to see that someone's actually executing the what was supposed to be the South African game plan to a T, having a set batsman in at the end. Well, why not have two? You know? So yeah, a 10 wicket victory. To be honest, I'm just looking at the results now. I'm trying to take all these results in after the Manchester United game. Yo, after this weekend. Yo. I don't even know what's happening in sports, guys. It's crazy. It's crazy. So, yeah, I don't know about you guys, but I'm still trying to recover. Yeah. It's just been a hectic 10 wickets, guys. 10. I know that Pakistan can produce upsets, but 10 wickets against the favorites. No, guys, these guys are making a statement. Yo, the amount of statements that are being made at our first game of the tournament, bruh. Sure. The things we're seeing. It's that's a joy to watch. Straight up, I don't know how they didn't lose any wickets, but yeah, wow, top class batting from the two of them. We knew that they were capable of this as well, but this is just disgusting. I mean, yeah, not even losing a wicket. I'm still trying to take this in, gents. I'm not gonna lie to you, eh?
Yeah, I know it's a crazy weekend of sport. But it looks
Me
like
too.
obviously we're
You
talking
sound
about
so sad, Khalid. Oh, I'm sorry,
yeah.
mate.
Yeah, it's been a horrible weekend. Absolutely horrible. I don't remember feeling like this in ages. Like, yeah. So it has been. I'm struggling through. Yeah, I feel like I'm in the playing midday in Abu Dhabi.
I hopped on because I saw you were struggling. So I can't leave just you and Aditya. And Aditya's going to have to carry this whole interview.
Yeah, exactly my point. That was gonna happen. Myself and Aditya were just gonna probably end up in tears halfway through this this podcast. Your Tsepo, your positivity as well, bro. Thank you for coming on and making me laugh. I don't know if you guys saw the TikTok videos that we posted on Cricket Fanatics Magazine's channel.
Oh, you posted
Tsepo's
them.
doing some, yeah,
Sick.
Tsepo's doing well there. I love those videos. It's excellent. Get some people to do some fans. When we go to live games again, I'll be doing fan cams at the stadiums,
Oof.
etc. I'm obviously going to be trying my best to get myself around. I mean, if Tsepo is going to be at the at the games in Joburg and etc., then
Get me
you'll
for
probably see
Boxing
one of
Day.
us.
Boxing
We
Day. Woo.
probably one of us will be there at the stadium. I'm hoping when Werner comes down to the stadium, he can also do a couple of few. When a teacher comes down, he can do a few. We can all be a massive team working together in the
I
stadium.
might come to
It's gonna be
Supersport
excellent.
Park.
Excellent.
Yes, Werner, Supersport Park, Boxing Day. Hashtag
But
building to
then,
Boxing Day. Hashtag Anis,
but
I see you, dog.
if you guys want to see that happen, obviously we have a Patreon account. If you guys know of any sponsors that want to get involved, that's how we're going to get ourselves to the stadium. If you want more content from us, more exclusive content from us, more fan cams, more entertaining content, help us out, guys. Get us join the Patreon. It is available. The link is in the description. Send sponsors our way. Let them know we're doing some great content for people as well. We're going to be doing content for different companies or brands or clubs and schools, whatever the case may be. If you guys want specific content by Cricket Fanatics Magazine done for you guys, we will be doing stuff like that too. So just point people in our direction. Okay, let's continue this conversation.
I have a
A little bit,
question.
yeah.
Am I the only one that was all right with South Africa's performance against Australia?
All right.
Bowling, yes. Batting, no.
Okay, yeah, obviously, but batting was. But you see, the batting is not like I was surprised. And it looked like it was difficult to bat there. Even Australia looked like they weren't 100% comfortable. But all I wanted, I said this on One World Sports Radio, all I want from this South African team at this tournament is just to. I don't want to switch off the TV to be like, guys, we're not even doing it. I don't want to feel like a Manchester United supporter felt today. I want to be able to watch until the last ball. And I feel like that's what I got. I feel like Dwayne Pretorius at the death. I thought that we were going to make a mistake and bowl KG, but no, it was Dwayne. And I was very happy with some of the decision making with the bowling. The batting obviously left a lot to be desired. It's great that Aiden Markram is on form, but Quinton de Kock, guys, what happened to Quinton de Kock after he went to the IPL? What happened to the man? No double-digit scores. What's happening?
The funny thing is, then everybody goes hard at. Maybe I'm gonna bring up racia again. I don't want to do it, but I'm saying, like for example, everybody went hard at quota players, quota players, quota players. They're the ones that are making us lose. Blah 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 blah. It's the black players, it's the colored players, whatever the case may be. Guys, you can't blame quotas on this particular match. We had 4 players of color on the field. So if you if you want to talk about that, it's not like we've been playing a quota friendly 11. So I don't think this is a quota or racial issue. It's a team issue. It's a strategy issue. It's a technical, I don't know, game plan issue. The execution issue. That's the word I'm looking for. The execution was just poor with the bat. With this particular bowling unit, I feel they almost defended that total. That gave me a lot of hope from a South African perspective. That they, even when their backs were right against that wall and nobody gave them a chance to get close, they went there and they defended that. So it's crazy. I mean, now look at the past. I mean, people talk about quotas as well. Look at the past. Other teams, we've been failing at World Cups for ever. So it's not the first time we've failed in a World Cup. So it's been haunting us for a long time. I must say that I was very disappointed by the kneeling situation. I don't want to go too deep in it, but it's something we need to bring up. It really breaks my heart when I see England and Australia take the knee, and our whole
India as
team
well
not doing that.
today.
In India as well today.
India and
Same
Pakistan.
thing.
I mean,
India,
I think
Pakistan.
Pakistan put their hands on their chest, but India took the knee
Yeah.
today.
Yeah, because I think it's a lot more than just racial discrimination that you're needing for you. It's everything. It's all discrimination. Yes, mainly racial discrimination. And we have to look past the whole BLM movement. Just stand up against racism. That's it. It's a big topic around the world, and it's not something that it's something that I hope that a team like South Africa or a country like South Africa with the checkered past that we have, that I just expect more from our nation to be able to do so. I mean, with a rugby team, they might not have taken knees or whatever the case may be, but the things that they have done for cultural diversity and everything, and accepting people into teams and all of that. We saw how Rassi Erasmus basically broke down in tears when he spoke about the players' journeys, etc. So yeah, I am a bit disappointed by that. Yes, it's everybody's right, but it did disappoint me a little bit, especially the way it went on social media. I mean, you guys must have seen it on social media. The way it blew up when those pictures were released. Tsepo, you put up your hand.
Yeah, I think it's a messy situation. Whenever race is a conversation in the country, it's never a clean thing because people feel offended. I mean, like people genuinely like get touched about these types of things. And as soon as you start saying things like no, it's compulsory for all of us to kneel, then there's going to be a different group that's going to say, oh, but now it's discrimination because this, that, or the other. Like with these types of things, and I mean, it's a gesture, it's a nice gesture, but I mean, for me, I want to see what the people are doing behind the scenes. Some people just believe like rhinos are more important than like black lives. For some, like some people actually believe that. And I'm not going to come here as a black guy and be like, no, you need to change. Because honestly, are they really changing on the inside, guys? Are they really changing on the inside by taking the knee? However, these guys could be racist, but they just don't want to make a noise about it. And like, yeah, so I don't, when there's noise about BLM, when there's noise about taking the knee, I'm like, guys, BLM was, it's great that you want to take a knee against racism, but I mean, like, the real moves against racism, like, are in your own corp, dude. The real moves against racism are the conversations that you're having one on one. Yeah, you should be an example, but let's be honest, this country still has racists in it. And would we want to like just paper over that stuff, and I don't know. It's a very complicated situation. Even as I'm talking now, like I feel like I don't know what I'm saying. But that's how I feel like the country feels. Some people don't feel right about this. Some people feel like minority culture is like getting out of hand. Like I mean, Dave Chappelle's another thing. He was talking about trans people in his comedy special. He was just trying to defend himself. Trans people feel that was, it wasn't right, and that was violence against them. But there's just like miscommunication. So I feel like racism for each individual is different. And if we don't respect that, then we're just going to paper over things, and then there's going to be another culture that's going to feel oppressed. And people feel oppressed if you tell them to do things that they don't want to do. Look at vaccinations. People are like, I don't want to vax, bruh. Why are you telling me what to do? Freedom of wah, 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 wah. And some people are like, you're stupid for not doing that. And I'm like, guys, if we keep treating these people
Yeah.
like they're stupid, they're not going to respect what we're saying. So that's what I'm saying, guys. For me personally, I don't want to talk about this like too much because it doesn't get anywhere. We're only going to be angry. No one's going to be happy. I like to look on the bright side. I like to look like towards the future. All I hope, well, what we're seeing now with the SJN hearings is real talks, and they must keep going, must keep watching, and must keep listening, and we must bring everybody into the conversation, not just black
Yeah.
people. White people must get involved. Colored people must get involved. Indians must also get involved. Everyone must get involved.
Yeah.
And everyone must chat. But we mustn't tell each other what to do. We must just talk about our experiences. That's
Yeah.
all I want.
Ultimately, I just want equality all around. I don't want to go to social media every single day and just see hatred everywhere. And because of something that you can't control. I mean, something like race is something that's God given. It's not like you can control that. Okay, Michael Jackson, maybe you can change your color of your skin and become white or whatever the case
But
may
it
be.
doesn't
and
matter
rest
if
in
you're
peace.
black or white, Khalid.
It doesn't matter exactly. Great. No, Verna, thank you for coming on the show. You at least got a smile and a laugh for me. Okay, so like ultimately, yes, it doesn't matter. So that's what we want to get to. I only get angry and get upset over here when that's used as a reason for something, for being incompetent or being not being able to do something, or when that is used as a reason for bad performance, or that's been used as a reason for bad results. Cannot be. It doesn't affect your performance whatsoever. So I don't understand why that has to come into the mix. But let's just move on from that. Werner, I do want to get your thoughts on something. I want to get your thoughts on South Africa. Do you feel comfortable that they will be okay against Spain? Okay, but I'm asking that, but then again, we're playing the West Indies next. So do we really have to worry as much? Um, but from your perspective, because we got Sri Lanka, we've got Bangladesh. Bangladesh has the highest spinner in the most wicket taker in the tournament, the highest wicket taker in the tournament at the moment in their team. So when it comes to the other games, because we're gonna need to now win the rest of our games if we want any chance to get out. I think, personally. So, what's your thoughts? Are you comfortable when it comes to this us playing against Spin?
It's a tricky one because I feel more comfortable about us playing Spin these days. I think we have improved a lot. I think Markram in particular has improved a lot against Spin, and he has one of the main batsmen in our lineup who's able to take them on, who keeps a good strike rate. I've seen some stats floating around about him keeping a good strike rate against both pace and spin. But then you look at someone like Quinny and Temba, who both strike decently against paces, but the moment spin comes on, their strike rate drops to just over 100. So it is still a worry. I don't think we will lose our wickets necessarily that easily against spin. But we do still need the ability to rotate strike the whole way through and get our boundary opportunities. It's definitely important. I think we will be facing Sri Lanka at Sharjah, so that's going to be very difficult with their spinners on that wicket. If it plays like it played in the IPL and that in the preliminary rounds, if it plays like it played today, it's better. Then we should be all right. But yeah, it's not going to be easy. Bangladesh, I'm not sure where we're facing them, but on one of the bigger grounds. So we just need to have our options right. And I think the main important part remains we need a good platform. We're not going to strike a lot against the spinners if we're 30 for 3 again. Then South Africa will go into their shell and we will consolidate for 10 overs. And the problem against Australia was we tried that. We tried to consolidate. But every time we did, we like 3 overs, consolidate, and then, okay, now they can start hitting. And at the moment we were thinking, okay, now we're going to go. We lost a wicket. And then another 3 overs of consolidation. And then we lost another wicket. And then another. So it was just a downward spiral. So in terms of the spinners, I think we play them better in terms of not getting out, but we still need to be able to boss that middle overs. We can't get stuck through the middle because that's going to put too much pressure on us catching up at the back end.
So I have a question here from Dex. He says, how do you think the pressure of captaincy is affecting Bavuma? Look at his performances before and after skipper. Possibly could be so. I mean, we criticized Quinton de Kock when Quinton de Kock was going through the same thing earlier on in series, and he was struggling with his form, and then they dropped him as a captain, and then he kind of came on form again, but now he's back off form again, so it's confusing with Quinton. But I feel that with Quinton and Temba, they're two different types of players with the way they are. I feel that Temba Bavuma is more of a, in my eyes, more of a momentum type of player. If he gets the first score, I think he can go on and continue. Unfortunately, he got injured after he scored quite a big score in the where was it when it was against Pakistan?
Scored against Ireland and then injured in Sri Lanka. Got a big runs for Pakistan. I think he got decent runs in the ODIs against Pakistan when they were here, and then got injured for the T20s or something like that.
Yeah, something like that, exactly. So my thing is, Temba, we haven't had a chance to see Temba score a big score and then kick on and get another opportunity to continue and go and go and go and grow his confidence. It's been stop, start continuously as for him as a captain. I criticized Pavuma yesterday, and I just want to put that out there because that was the wrong shot to play. He didn't read the situation, the spin right. It was the wrong shot to play. He trusted us. He didn't trust what he normally would do. Normally gets down and will sweep that type of delivery, and he didn't trust himself to do that. He actually was stuck in his crease and played at the ball, missed it completely, and went out. So he needs to be better. But I think also what's affecting Timba, and it's not something that people are going to be speaking about. No matter how much we can tell these players that they must maybe switch off their phones or switch off social media or whatever. I don't think you guys are actually seeing what is going down on social media when it comes to Timba Bavuma. The amount of hatred he's getting and the amount of, I mean, no player I feel in the history of South African cricket, not even Alan Donald when he ran out, got that amount of scrutiny as what Pavuma is getting currently. The hatred and the words that are going his way about him, what is being said about him, is
Luckily for Alan
extremely
Donald,
hateful.
social media wasn't around that time.
Yeah, there
Yeah,
wasn't
exactly.
internet back then. Imagine Twitter. Yo, for our first,
They would have gone
yo,
mad.
that would have been
That would have gone mad.
disgusting.
That would have gone mad. But the hatred that he's getting on all social media platforms is insane. So if it's not going to change, if it's not going to change, if the pouch is not going to change Pavuma and he's going to remain captain and he's going to remain there, I want to send a little challenge out to you guys. Maybe tag Pavuma in a post, tag Cricket Fanatics Magazine in a post, give him some inspirational words, see if that can lift the team, see if that can lift Pavuma, see if that can lift the players. Go ahead and do that. Send it on Twitter, send it on Instagram, tag us in the post, do all of those type of things and see if that can change. Just let's change the narrative around this team and around the players. I believe positivity breeds positivity. If you look at the Australians, for example, they believe in themselves. Like even if they crap, that's what makes them so mentally tough. Even when they're not in a great space, they believe in themselves 100%. And the fans and players and everybody, they will back their team 100%. Yes, every team, it's a sports team. If you lose, you're going to get scrutiny, and that's just natural. It comes part of sport. But don't take it to that levels where it's completely just like, I mean, like it's not even humanistic anymore. It's got to become animalistic in a way. The amount of stuff, he gets scrutinized for things that is not even his fault, like his height, things that he can't help. Like it's crazy. If you go look at the comments, I mean, Vernon knows, he's one of the top fans on our Facebook page. He will be able to tell you the stuff that he has to take, and I know that must affect him, man. There's no way that he's not seeing those things. So yeah, that's a little challenge for you guys.
Just one other thing, for all the Temba critics, Temba the batsman didn't do well yesterday, and he misjudged a ball he didn't anticipate, spin being delivered in the power play, and we can be critical of that.
Yeah.
But Temba the captain yesterday had a great day, and because South Africa lost, we tend to forget that.
Yeah.
Temba Bavuma the
Aditya,
captain was fantastic.
can I just jump in here quickly? Someone
Yeah.
Praneet saying that I'm just making it look like a race. Every captain gets hatred, bro. I'm not making it about race. People literally are racist. Like they're saying racial things to him, blaming race,
Twitter
mentioning
is
that he's
disgusting. Twitter is disgusting.
mentioning that he's a quota player. That's what's been said. I'm just not going to repeat that stuff on my stream. So you go ahead and go look yourself and tell me if it's racist. Come back to me and tell me if it's racist or not. Because the scrutiny is you can swear at the guy and say he's completely shite or he's completely crap or whatever the case may be. You can go whatever, but then don't go after things that is not in control. That's where I'm saying. That's when I'm saying things are crazy. Just go have a look. Just go have a look at what has been said on social media, and then come back to me. I'm not.
And guys,
Yeah.
Quinton de Kock didn't get the sort of hate that Temba is getting as captain. And there's a lot more that we could be critical of with respect to Quinton de Kock's captaincy. with
Yeah.
Temba, I think guys, just look at the highlights yesterday. For the vast majority of South Africa's bowling innings, there was a plan in place. You could tell that when the bowlers were bowling, they had a specific idea, and there was a fielder there to protect them as well. You saw that for
No,
most
wait,
part of
sorry.
the innings.
Yeah, Praneet, I'm not calling you a racist, bro. No. You misunderstanding me completely. I'm not. We're not saying that. Yeah, I don't believe that any of you guys are in the comment section. You guys have been excellent. I must say that. We've banned people for being racist on this channel, blatantly racist. There was a guy that came on this channel not so long ago, and he wrote he put a whole lot of monkey emojis in the comment section in the live chat saying that Temba, that's what I'm talking about when it comes to racism. Those are the type of things we don't accept. I want you guys to criticize the players. It's okay. If they're performing badly, go for it. You do that. I just don't want you to use terms like quota and things like that when you are going after players' criticism. Criticize their performance. That's fine. I don't have an issue with that. And I love you guys all in the live chat. Continue contributing and telling us that, because I don't think any of you guys are off side with the comments that you're making. So don't worry about that. And you can say something. And text, I see you say, please don't say anything against Bavuma. You can say things against Bavuma here. I don't have an issue with you guys criticizing players. I've got an issue when when the line is overstepped. I would be like that with anybody and anything when it comes to any player in the team, whether they're white, colored, black, whatever. If you cross the line with regards to the criticism and you take it beyond sporting reasons, that's where I'm going to get an issue. Sorry, this podcast is becoming very flippin' emotional. Anyway, so anybody want to jump in here and talk some more cricket?
Yeah,
We're
I want
talking
to.
about Temba the captain. Yeah. Keep going about that.
And yesterday, if you saw the number of times that the South African bowlers stuck to a specific line, Australian batters responded accordingly, and there was a fielder set in place to protect the bowler from that delivery. I thought that was outstanding because it showed that a captain was formulating a plan, communicating with the bowlers were executing that, and for the vast majority of the innings, apart from that slower ball that Andrik bowled in the 19th over, apart from that, virtually everything went to plan, which is fantastic when you're defending just 118. And you compare that to what happened with Virat Kohli today. Virtually nothing went to plan because plans were
Yeah,
being changed, like every single time there was a boundary or a six. There
I
was
mean,
a few changes.
I'm one of the people that before the captains were selected, I was like, Aiden should be captain. That was my choice for captaincy. Back when before after Quinton de Kock, I was like, but I could understand why Aiden didn't get the captaincy because he himself was trying to get himself on form. So that was something that I wanted personally. Markram was always the person that I saw as the future captain of South Africa when he first walked into this dressing room. But maybe that's because of the relationship I have with him and the interviews, and I got to speak to him a lot off camera, and I got to know him as a person and as a man. So obviously, I'm going to see something in him that maybe other people might not see. I didn't get know Temba on that level. We haven't had many conversations off camera or even with regards to interviews much. I've spoken to him now and again at maybe one or two events, but I've never actually had the opportunity to really get to know Temba Bavuma and get behind. Faf, I did. Faf, in my eyes, is the best captain South Africa's ever had, even though he hasn't won anything. So from a World Cup perspective, in my eyes, what Faf represented was just everything for me. I spoke to him as a off camera, the way he makes you as a younger journalist feel. I stole the story. There's a whole column that I wrote on cricketfanaticsmag.com about it when Faf retired from Test cricket, and the way he makes you feel comfortable when you interview him, the way he makes you comfortable as a younger journalist, everything. So that's I mean, Faf has been excellent. We're just talking about captaincy right now. So
And I think that's the thing the selector should have also thought about coming into this World Cup. Not only what Faf would have brought with the bat, but what he would have brought to the team with his experience. What how he would have been able to back Bavuma up in the field, and what he could have bounced off ideas. Bavuma could have bounced off ideas of Faf.
Yeah,
Faf has all the
exactly.
experience. He has the captaincy. He has done it for so long. Bavuma would have felt a lot more comfortable having another guy there that has gone through all this, that knows the rounds.
Exactly. And on top of that, Werner, Faf embraces the culture of South Africa. I don't know if you guys saw when the BLM movement hit the long. I mean, Ongama posted it. One of our writers, Ongama, I saw him in the comment section earlier on. He posted it on his social media on Twitter. The two massive paragraphs that he wrote about the culture of the team, the culture camps, everything about understanding what the history of South Africa is. Faf even went as far as saying he had to go back and educate himself about the country and what cricketers have gone through in the past. Having that on the field would have made such a. That's one area that I feel that the selectors in Boucher got wrong. That's 100% got wrong. Like George Linda, I could understand to a degree. Why they maybe didn't pick him, because of Bjorn in clutch moments. Like that's why I was like, why is Bjorn not playing in that match? I would have taken the risk and played Bjorn against Australia. But then on the flip side, then you need to put runs on the board so our bowlers can perform. Let's wrap this up, guys. Aditya, let's go with you, Tsepo, and then end off with Werner.
Well, I guess to get back to the topic of this conversation about spin, at some point, I think South Africa have got to have confidence in their ability to play spin as batters, and really get a sense of how each track plays. Because not all slow and tired wickets tend to be spinner friendly in that they're going to be rank turners. The ball's going to turn square. And that I feel is what South Africa is most worried about when they're playing in spinning conditions. So I hope they're not overthinking it. And I hope they sort of reflect on what went down yesterday and come out with a better performance against the West Indies, because I think South Africa got a lot more out of that game against Australia than the West Indies got out of their game against England. And South Africa should probably should go in there as favourites, and I hope that they can dominate.
I wanted to say something about the captain's thing, about how I think there's when you take the South African captaincy, it affects your batting. So personally, I wouldn't want someone who we are like we are dependent on runs for to wear the captain's armband, if you know what I'm saying. So back in the a few before, when we were really reliant on Quinton de Kock for runs, I thought it was a terrible idea to make him captain, because his runs are going to go down. It's just what's going to happen, because he has to think about so many things. And that's what happened. And for me, when Themba Bavuma took it, I felt the same about Faf du Plessis when he took it away from AB de Villiers and Hashim Amla. Like, you need to give it to someone whose runs were not that dependent on. I'm not saying that he's like let off the hook here from scoring runs. I'm just saying that when you take the captaincy, it's going to affect your batting, whether you like it or not. So give it to someone that has good leadership and who isn't necessarily like, if he's gone, then our team flops. So yeah, that's why I was glad about Themba Bavuma. And then just on Faf du Plessis, and not just Faf du Plessis, but about all people in not being selected for this World Cup. Honestly, if the plan isn't that we are building to 2023, I don't know why these guys aren't in the squad. So I'm just going to keep believing that that's the case, that the only reason these guys don't have senior players there is because we're trying to build a squad of people that are consistently going to be in the team, that don't have too many IPL commitments. And lucky now, Markram got it. But yeah, we need people consistently in the team from now until 2023. And that's why we're not seeing Faf and Tahir. And I think it's just as simple as that. But people just don't want to say it because, I don't know, politics. But yeah, I back our South African team to get a result against the West Indies. Once again, all I expect is a game that we watch until the end if we're losing, or a game that we close out quickly if we're winning. Just decent decision making that we can build on and that we can learn from moving on towards the future. Because honestly, I think we're a young team, and we need to keep that in mind. Like Arsenal in the Premier League, but we have some decent leadership at the moment. Yeah, that's yeah.
Are you an Arsenal fan?
No, no, no.
You're a Chelsea fan.
I'm a
Oh,
Chelsea fan. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
I thought
I
so.
just,
You
yeah.
almost threw me
Arsenal is
off
just
there.
the youngest team in the league. So
No,
yeah,
man, because
there's
for
a
months I've been because you scared me there because for months I've been calling you as a Chelsea fan. Whenever I speak about you, I say Chelsea fan. So like
yeah.
you scared me for a little bit there.
No,
But
Arsenal, that's nasty.
Um, I disagree a little bit. I don't think we have a young team. I'd say we have an inexperienced team, but most of our
Whoa.
players are not that young really. When you compare it to some of the other teams. But yeah, I just like everyone to back our players. Just support them. Let's get some positivity going because they really do see it. You can look at any post Cricket South Africa makes on Instagram. You'll see Rassi likes it and Bavuma likes it, and so they are active on social media and they do see the posts and they do see the comments going around. So it let's spread some positivity. Let's get them hyped because they are representing us. So we need them in a good frame of mind heading into games. They want to go into games knowing that we are backing them fully and they want to make us proud. They don't want to go into games thinking, these people don't really care. They don't back us. So what's the point in playing for them? They want to play for their supporters, for their real supporters that want to see them do well, want them to see represent our country well. And then just to end off, I don't know if you guys saw the tweet Dale Steyn made the other day about Virendra Sehwag when he at his birthday he said, my sharpest knife back home is nicknamed Viru because it cuts everything. And then I just saw that Sehwag had replied and he said, thanks, great man. I have named my camera Stain Gun. It shoots anything. I thought that was excellent.
Excellent. Yeah, and just to add what Vernon said, I mean, Dwayne Pretorius gave a message to you guys on our exclusive interview, saying exactly that. Just send a nice, good message, positive messages to the guys, and criticize them after the World Cup. That's what he asked for. He like, don't criticize them now, criticize them after the World Cup. So, guys, thanks a lot for tuning in. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode of the Sunday podcast. Please subscribe to Cricket Fanatics Magazine. It's 100% free. All issues 100% free in the description and the eye on the screen. Don't forget to also subscribe to this channel and click that notification bell for all future videos. That's also free, guys. So I don't know why you guys are not doing that. And smash the like button. That's also free. Comment. That's also free. And share. That's also free. So thanks a lot for tuning in, everybody, and we'll see you again tomorrow for another daily show. Take care, everyone.